Welcome to the channel. Hit subscribe and dive into stories that'll stay with you long after the video ends. Let's begin. The rain had been falling for hours. Thin, steady, and cold enough to sting. Eli Turner had been up since dawn, mending a fence that the storm had nearly torn down overnight. He was a man of habit, slow to panic, slower to speak. But that morning, something broke through the routine. Across the southern field, where the ground dipped into a shallow gully, something glinted through the mist, not metal from his tractor, not wire from the fence. It was the dull silver of a car roof, half buried in wet clay, tilted like it had fallen from the sky. Eli squinted through the drizzle, heart ticking up a notch. There wasn't supposed to be a road out there, just pasture and miles of fence line. He dropped the pliers, wiped his hands on his jeans, and started toward it. The closer he got, the stranger it looked. A dark blue sedan, newer than anything he owned. Nose down in the mud. The driver's door was open. No tracks leading to it, no tire marks in the field, like it had just appeared. Eli called out, just a simple, wary, "Hello," and his voice vanished into the fog. Nothing moved. Then he heard it, a faint broken sound from inside the car. Not wind. Not water, a cry, high and sharp. Human but small. He froze, listening again, rain tapping the brim of his hat. Another cry, clearer this time. Thin and terrified. It was a baby. He sprinted the last 10 yards, boots slipping in the muck. The passenger door was jammed, so he wrenched it open with both hands. The inside smelled of gasoline and wet cloth. On the back seat, wrapped in a blanket gone dark with mud, was an infant, maybe 6 months old, blue eyes wide open, crying weak and hoarse. "Good Lord," he whispered. He reached in, hands trembling, lifted the baby out, and held it close under his coat. The child was cold, shivering, but alive. He looked around, scanning the fields for anyone else. No footprints, no other car, just wind, rain, and the faint hum of insects beneath the soil. Eli backed away from the wreck. Baby clutched to his chest. Inside the car, the keys were still in the ignition. The dashboard lights blinked faintly. A purse lay in the passenger footwell, half open, with a driver's license poking out. The photo showed a young woman with long brown hair. Her name, Anna Reeves. Eli's stomach turned. He knew that name. She'd gone missing 2 nights ago, from the next county over. He'd seen it on the news just last night while eating supper. He stared out toward the endless wet pasture, heart pounding. If Anna's baby was here, where was she? A sound carried over the rain, something low, almost like a moan, coming from somewhere beyond the car. Eli tightened his grip on the child and turned his head slowly toward the noise. It was coming from the tree line. Something, or someone, was watching him. The cry had stopped. Only that other sound remained. Faint, ragged breathing hidden behind the curtain of rain. Eli turned in a slow circle, scanning the shadows where the pasture met the woods. "Hello?" His voice cracked. "Is somebody there?" The baby whimpered under his coat. Eli shifted his hold, feeling the tiny heartbeat against his ribs. He took a step toward the trees, careful. Every sense strung tight. Then movement, just a flicker. A pale shape darted behind a trunk. Eli's throat went dry. "Anna?" No answer. He approached the edge of the woods. The air there was different. Heavy, damp, and laced with something sharp, metallic. Blood. The smell hit him before he saw her. A woman lay against the roots of an old oak, her face streaked with mud. She was alive, barely. Her lips moved. Eli crouched beside her. "Don't try to talk." "You're hurt." Her hand twitched toward him, shaking. "The baby. I've got her right here," he said quickly. "She's safe." Anna's eyes fluttered open, blue like the child's. Relief flickered there, then terror. "He's still out there." Eli leaned closer. "Who?" But she'd already gone slack, her eyes rolling back. He looked around, pulse roaring in his ears. The wood seemed to hold its breath. Behind him, a soft crunch. Footsteps. He spun. Nothing. Just rain dripping through branches. The baby began to cry again. Sharp and desperate, Eli knew he couldn't stay. He tore off his jacket, wrapped it tighter around the infant. and lifted Anna's limp body over his shoulder. Half stumbling, half running, he made his way back toward the house. The fields were turning to rivers of mud under the downpour. Every few steps he looked back, expecting to see someone following, but all he saw were the dark ripples of grass bending under the rain. By the time he reached the porch, he could barely breathe. He laid Anna on the couch, lit the lamp, and checked her pulse. Still there, weak but steady. The baby had gone quiet, staring up at him like she understood the silence around them. Eli picked up the old rotary phone on the wall and dialed the sheriff's office. No signal. The storm had knocked out the lines again. Damn. Dee hesitated only a moment before setting the receiver down. He couldn't just sit there. He'd drive her to town himself, once. The rain eased enough to see the road, then a sound from outside. Something brushed against the porch railing. A creak, slow and deliberate. Eli's skin prickled. He stepped to the window, peering through the rain-smeared glass. A man stood by the fence and tall, motionless, head tilted toward the house. The light from the porch caught his face for just a second. Mud-caked, eyes hollow, expression blank, and then he was gone, just like that. Eli's breath fogged the window. He didn't know who the man was, but Anna's words echoed in his head. He's still out there. The storm deepened, swallowing the farm in black. Lightning rolled across the horizon, thunder shaking the walls. Eli shut every curtain, locked every door, then knelt by the couch. Anna stirred, mumbling through fevered breaths. He dabbed water on her lips, tried again to reach the phone. Nothing but static. The baby whimpered softly in the blanket. Eli rocked her gently, whispering the kind of nonsense his late wife used to say when their boy was small. Then a knock. 3 slow raps on the front door. He froze. No car lights. No voice calling out. Just those deliberate knocks spaced too evenly to be the wind. Eli grabbed the shotgun from the wall. Who's there? Silence. He edged closer, rain drumming on the roof. Another knock, harder this time. Eli swung the door open. Gun leveled. Nobody. The porch was empty. Rain splashed against the steps, but then he saw it. A trail of fresh boot prints in the mud, leading from the door toward the barn. He hesitated, glanced at Anna and the baby, then stepped out into the storm. Each footstep sank deep into the muck, the wind roaring in his ears. He followed the prints, gripping the shotgun tight. At the barn, the big doors were open, one creaking on its hinges. Eli raised the light and stepped inside. The smell hit him first. Diesel. Hey, and something else, wet leather. Someone was here. Whoever you are. You picked the wrong night, he called out. Voice low, a sound from the loft, a scuffle. Then silence. He raised the gun, heart hammering. Come down. A figure appeared at the edge of the loft. Tall, shoulders hunched, face hidden by shadow. The man's voice was rough. You shouldn't have taken her. Eli steadied the barrel. The baby? She was alone in that car. The man took a step down the ladder. She's not yours to keep. Lightning flashed, and for an instant Eli saw his face. Scarred, eyes red-rimmed with exhaustion. Eli swallowed hard. Who are you? The man's jaw trembled. Her father. The words hit like a blow. Eli lowered the gun a fraction. Then where's Anna? The man's expression twisted. She made me do it. Said we couldn't go back. Said they'd find out what she'd done. What did she do? Eli asked, but the man didn't answer. He just turned, bolting toward the back door. Eli fired once into the air. A warning. The sound thundered through the barn. When the smoke cleared, the man was gone, vanished into the sheets of rain. Eli stood there shaking, the echo ringing in his ears. He turned toward the house, dread sinking in his chest. Anna's voice, faint, panicked, was calling from inside. He dropped the gun and ran. When Eli burst back through the door, the lamp had gone out. Only lightning lit the room in sharp white flashes. Anna was sitting up now, pale and trembling. The baby, where is she? She gasped. Eli pointed to the cradle he'd fashioned from an old crate. Right there, safe. Anna's eyes darted around the room. Did you see him? I saw someone, Eli said. He claimed to be her father. Anna shook her head violently. No, he's not. You can't let him near her. Then who is he? Eli pressed. Her voice broke. He's my brother. Eli blinked, the pieces not fitting. Your brother? She nodded, tears mixing with mud on her cheeks. He was supposed to help me. But when the baby came, he changed. Said I'd ruined everything. He took the car, drove off the road on purpose. I tried to stop him. She winced, clutching her side. Blood seeped through the blanket around her waist. Eli knelt beside her. You need a doctor. No, she whispered. Please, just keep her safe. Promise me. Thunder rolled again, closer this time. Eli tightened his jaw. I'm not letting anyone take her. Then, a slam from the back door. Anna flinched. He's here. Eli grabbed the shotgun, eyes scanning the shadows. A shape moved through the kitchen, broad, limping slightly. Stay back, Eli shouted. The man stepped into the light. Mud dripped from his coat. He looked at Anna, then at the baby. You lied to him, he hissed. You lied to everyone, Eli aimed. Don't take another step. Anna screamed, he killed her real father. The man's face twisted with rage. She's lying. She's been lying since the day that baby was born. Eli's finger tightened on the trigger. Enough. Both of you. The baby started crying again, loud, piercing, terrified. The man lunged. Eli fired. The blast shook the house. The man stumbled backward, crashing through the table, collapsing onto the floor. For a moment, there was only silence, then the faint patter of blood dripping onto wood. Anna's voice broke the quiet. You don't understand. He wasn't lying about everything. Eli turned, stunned. What are you saying? Tears streamed down her face. The baby. She's not mine either. The world seemed to tilt. What? Anna sobbed. We found her. In the woods. A week ago. Just left there. My brother said to keep her, said nobody would know. But someone was following us. Eli stared at her, words gone. She looked toward the window. They'll come for her, Eli. You have to run. Outside, another flash of lightning, and in its glare, 3 figures stood beyond the fence. Not the brother, not anyone he recognized. Men in dark coats. Watching. The rest of the night blurred into motion. Gunfire in the distance. Shouts swallowed by the storm. The shatter of glass as Eli carried the baby out through the back door and into the open field. He ran until the house was only a smear of light behind him. The wind tore at his coat. Rain cutting into his face. The baby barely made a sound. Only small gasps of breath against his chest. He reached the old shed near the north fence and ducked inside. The roof leaked. But it was shelter. He sat there in the dark, heart pounding, listening for footsteps. Nothing. Only the hiss of the storm easing away. Hours passed. Dawn came gray and hollow. The world soaked and quiet. When Eli finally stepped out, the house was gone, burned to its frame. Smoke drifted across the fields, no sign of the men. No sign of Anna or her brother, only silence. He trudged back slowly. Between the ashes, he found the shotgun. Warped from heat, near it Anna's necklace. The small silver charm melted into an unrecognizable shape. He sank to his knees. God help us. The baby stirred. Eli looked down at her tiny face, peaceful now. Sleeping despite the cold, he wrapped her in his coat and stared toward the horizon, where a line of county road shimmered through the morning mist. By the time the sheriff's truck appeared hours later, Eli was standing by the fence, baby in his arms. They asked questions, dozens of them. Where did the car come from? Who were the people he saw? Where was Anna Reeves? He told the truth as best he could, but even as he spoke, he knew how impossible it sounded. The wrecked sedan was gone when they searched the gully. The mud was smooth, undisturbed. No tracks. No blood. Like the storm had swallowed every trace. The sheriff finally sighed. You sure you didn't dream it, Eli? He didn't answer. Instead, he looked down at the child who had opened her eyes again. Those same blue eyes, too bright for this gray morning. Weeks passed. The investigation went nowhere. No sign of Anna. No missing infant reported. Eli filed the paperwork, took temporary custody while they searched for answers, but none came. Sometimes, late at night, he'd wake to the faintest sound, a woman's voice whispering from the edge of the yard, calling the baby's name. Other nights, he'd see lights flicker out by the tree line, and a figure standing just beyond reach of the porch light, watching. He never told the sheriff about that. Years later, the story still hung over the town like fog, how the farmer found a car in the storm and a child inside, and how everything that came after was buried in rain and smoke. Eli never left the farm. The girl grew up strong, quiet and kind, but sometimes when thunder rolled across the hills, she'd stare out the window with those piercing blue eyes, as if she remembered. And somewhere far beyond the fence line, a cry would echo through the mist, soft, distant, and familiar, like the sound of something or someone coming home. Thanks for watching.